Now I want to bring in Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford. Attorney General Ford, great to see. Of course, Attorney General Ford running for governor against the MAGA Republican governor, Joe Lombardo, right now. And your opponent in this governor's race, Joe Lombardo, seems to be just fully embracing the Trump and MAGA attack on Nevada. And I see and I read and I hear all the stories of Nevada being under attack, whether it is the fact that tourism is down significantly, whether it's healthcare being ripped away. I can go through the list. But if you listen to Lombardo out there, he would tell you that Nevada is experiencing a golden age, that people have actually never been happier, that Vegas is thriving and all of Nevada is thriving. And I go, what in the world is, I don't know what world he's living in, but you're there on the ground. Attorney General Ford, talk to us about what's really going on in Nevada and across the state.
Ben, great to see you again, and thanks so very much. Look, here's the fact of the matter. Nevadans right now are struggling to make ends meet under this Lombardo Trump economy, and family needs their money back. We're going to talk about tariffs later in here, and that's a big deal. But the fact of the matter is right now, healthcare costs have skyrocketed for over 100,000 Nevadans who are insured through the Affordable Care Act. And another 100,000 Nevadans have actually been kicked off of Medicaid, including children and seniors. Our housing prices are through the roof. They've hit record highs, and Nevada has the highest number of foreclosure filings in the country. The second highest rate of cost-burdened renters and one of the highest rates of homelessness, not to mention our gas prices, which have exploded to an average of over $5 a gallon. And that's thanks to Trump's Iran war, which Joe Lombardo supports. This crushing price of gas is projected to have a ripple effect all throughout, other segments, our grocery bills, our online shopping. These costs are soaring as well. And one of the most devastating statistics that I recite frequently is the fact that 1 in 4 of our children in our state don't know where the next meal is going to come from. And Lombardo actually killed a measure that would have guaranteed school lunch for our kids. And so, to your point, I don't know what world or what state Lombardo is living in, but my friends, my neighbors, my family members, we're struggling.
Like Donald Trump has compounded the hurt and the despair and the pain with his tariffs against the world. There's a financial cost on consumers in Nevada. It's causing inflation to rise, but tariffing the world also has the impact of our allies abroad or former allies and partners in other countries also saying, look, if you're going to declare a trade war on us after all this cooperation, we ain't going to show up and spend tourism dollars. And that means one of the biggest tourist destinations is Nevada for a lot of reasons, including Vegas. And, I look at what's going on there and I check that data a lot. And, you can see a direct correlation of people from Canada and elsewhere not taking the trips like they used to be taken. And so talk about, this impact on the tariffs specifically. But then even after the Supreme Court ruling, which is clear to anybody who's reading it, which is, all right, like you lost, like give it back to the people. Yeah. The Trump doubles down is actually, we're going to be doing section investigations to increase the tariffs. And, and they're going to keep fighting this apparently until there's no refunds given.
Yeah, no, look, you're exactly right. And these tariffs immediately began having a negative impact on our state. Tourism was down from Canadians, from Mexicans, from Chinese, from all over the place. And that's internationally. Domestically also, our tourism went down. And we knew from the get-go, my colleagues and I who sued over these tariffs, that they were unlawful and illegal, which is why we sued. And it's interesting because Joe Lombardo has frequently called my lawsuits that are bringing in back billions of dollars into our economy. He's called them unfortunate. Well, the fact is, it's my lawsuit that got those tariffs ruled unconstitutional or unlawful, I should say. And I defeated those tariffs in court a couple of months ago. And to your point, Trump has still failed to give Nevada families a refund for this illegal $1,700 tax that essentially it amounted to on our folks. Nevada families, they've had an average of $1,700 stolen from them for all intents and purposes, thanks to these tariffs. And Joe Lombardo supports those tariffs. In fact, Lombardo just recently said that we should feel a little pain from those tariffs. And in fact, we don't even deserve a refund of those tariffs. He's not standing up for Nevadans. It's me standing up for Nevadans. And these unfortunate lawsuits are bringing relief to Nevadans.
To talk to us about the status of this race right now, because I mean, you've got Lombardo putting his arm around Donald Trump, but look, they have their talking points heading into election. They've got a right-wing media apparatus, where I like to call lots of corporate news at this point regime media. They put lots of money and pour it in, and they're going to do, culture wars and this bathroom versus that bathroom. And they're going to talk about, the sports and the this and why is this, and all of this and, socialism and radical extremism. And they flood the zone with whatever, and they pour all the money into it. And so what's the status of this race? How do you think you deal with that and make it clear that this is a race about kitchen table issues? This is about affordability and not about all the other things that you see they're escalating with that again.
Yeah, look, what they're not going to talk about is what you just described, the affordability issue. I was raised in a working class family. I didn't know what the word meant around age 10 or so, affordability, that is. But I know my parents couldn't always afford food, right? I grew up eating stale candy bars for dinner, sneaking them to lunch, because we didn't have enough food in the house sometimes. And look, I'm running for governor in Nevada to lead our state out of this affordability crisis that we're facing because of this Lombardo Trump economy. I'm looking to give working Nevadans the helping hand that saved me. As I said, I grew up in a working class family. I got to participate in programs like Project Upward Bound, a federal program that the Department of Education funds, the same Department of Education that Trump wants to get rid of, that Lombardo supports getting rid of, programs that are helping Nevadans. And these are the types of things that Lombardo is running on, but won't quite talk about, because the fact is, under this Lombardo Trump economy, Nevada's access to the path I took out of struggling is shrinking. Our state is ranking 46 in education and 47 in other metrics. And my focus has been to talk about those issues, because I've done a 17 county tour, 18 stops over the course of a week, talking to folks about what's important to them. And that's the reason why we are able to be so close in the polls. The polls have me gaining on Joe Lombardo. One poll even has me tied with Joe Lombardo. And to the point to where he is now saying that he's concerned about hanging on to his seat. Look, after saying Nevadans didn't need to feel a little pain over tariffs, it's finally good to hear him say he's concerned about something, albeit himself.
AG Ford, where can people learn more about the campaign if they want to learn more about you, and anything else you want to say to our audience of nearly 7 million before we go?
Well, Ben, look, thank you again for having me on. We're going to win this race, and we can win it. We can flip this seat, but I can't do it alone. I need folks to visit my website, forwardfornevada.com, and pitch in to help us turn Nevada blue. Thanks so much, everybody.
Attorney General Ford, AG of Nevada, doing a great job as the AG, in my humble opinion. And, as you heard, a lot. Nevada's under attack, folks. And so, I think it's important to see and reflect upon that and what could be and what is. Great to see you.
Great to see you.